Alright, so I couldn't find any videos on YouTube about replacing a fuel injector on a Suzuki Boulevard C50T or C50. The T obviously just stands for the touring package, and you guys excuse my mess. I've got a lot of crap scattered out in tools, and I usually don't because of my OCD won't allow it, but all I wanted to do was because I put on Cobra pipes and it ran fine. Bike ran fine just with the Cobra pipes, but I wanted to put on a new intake, and when you do that, it will lean the bike out so much you'll start getting a crazy blue color coming out of the heads. Your headers start turning blue, and it doesn't get good gas mileage, and you start to lose low end pressure. Honest to God, I probably should have just left it alone, but I didn't want to do that. So the Cobras, the FI2000, which I've already got Velcroed on, is supposed to be plug and play, and it is. You've got your front. This would be the back fuel injectors. These two would be the front. You unclick right here on this one, which that hooks up. You can see right there. So you would hook, click, and that goes back where the injector was. Click. Same on the front. Well, I pulled a dumbass, and right there is where the fuel rail goes, which I'm holding in my hand. It actually would go this direction, and you can see how that would slide up on there. The fuel injector goes down in there, and here's where it clicks in. Well, I, being an idiot at the time, was pushing on the connector. Probably hadn't, I mean, it's 2009 model, but no miles, 5,000 miles, barely ridden. I was pushing on the clip the wrong way, and I started wiggling it, and pow, and broke the injector off the clip. So this is the old injector. You can see where the clip broke off. And what you have to do is take this fuel rail off, and this is the main reason I'm making the video. This would go, the bigger port right here, it connects right here. And then your fuel injector in turn goes down in there, and that just is basically a bolt over there for the fuel rail, for the front cylinder. So the main reason I'm making this video is, guys, you have got to be so careful. Japanese flathead and Phillips head screwdrivers are not the same as American or standard. You will strip these things out so fast. Matter of fact, I did, and I remembered, well, hell, I've got a fuel pouch. A fuel tool pack that came with the bike. First time I've ever got it out, and it's probably the first time it's ever been gotten out. They're different. This is what holds the fuel rail on. You can see how boogered up and gummed up these are. But using standard tools, standard flathead, standard Phillips head, will not work. So the reason I'm saying this is every C50, I think M90, and probably even the M109s, they always have a tool pouch on the side. If you don't know what side, it's usually I call it the driver's side, left hand side of the bike if you're sitting on it. And there'll be a little pouch in there that looks, whatever I've done with it, I don't know what I've done with it, but anyway, it's there's the cover Oh, here it is. Comes with a 10 mil, 12 mil. Really poorly made crescent wrench or vice grips, whatever you want to call these. But sorry, move, Jake, move, buddy. If you try to use anything other than this, the one that came with it, or if you've got a non-standard set or metric Allen, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know how to explain what the difference is between a flathead and Phillips head in the Japanese terms, but there is a difference. They're not the same. So also, these climbers books, worth its weight in gold. It would have been a plug and play. Again, as I was pushing the wrong way on the fuel injector, I snapped the clip off, which, let's put this right here. Here's the Phillips head that came with the set on my bike, the toolkit. If you pull this out, flip it around, it's got a flat head on it, and it goes right back down in there. But this fuel rail, I'm calling it a fuel rail. It may not be called that. If it's not, I apologize. I'm a machinist by trade, but I'm not a mechanic. So all I know is I pulled a stupid, and this was in there like that, and I was pushing down on the clip the wrong way, and I snapped this part completely off, just barely pushing on it. I thought I saw the old one laying somewhere, the old injector. There it is. Yeah, that goes down. That was sticking out. You see what I done to the damn old injector. Oh, and the new injectors, and I got the OEM. I got the OEM for the 09s anyway. That's the part number. $240 for one fuel injector. That's more than I paid for all four of the ones that go in my vehicle that I drive. But I didn't want to use fuel injector. I just didn't feel comfortable, you know, who knows if somebody's pissed off ex-wife didn't dump water down in the tank or something stupid. Boy, they look dirty when everything's off of them. But you have to take the tank off, the seats. Everything's got to be disconnected. All that's simple. And my bra right there. I like taking off bras, by the way. That's one of my favorite things to do. But it shouldn't be a big deal. Just be careful with the Phillips heads. You will strip them out. The back fuel injector, the back cylinder fuel injector, it was not a big deal at all. It was just simply unclick, which I haven't plugged it back up yet, but you can see it right there. And the reason the front one it's kind of been a tight spot. What you will have to do is take the air intake off from the breather box and move it out of the way and disconnect. This goes up in there. I'm not even sure what it is, but that goes up in there. And to help some more, take the antifreeze cap off, your coolant cap off. And I put the Phillips head that came with the bike down on it. I took a hammer and pecked it down on there, so why it's scarred up some. And I took a pair of big ass channel locks, and when I turned it, you could hear them pop. And normally when you hear that pop, that means it's never been off before. And then it came right off. So I'm going to stop the video and I'll edit it and run these together. It does, the FI2000 does come with directions, and they're good directions. And it should be a normal plug and play. But when you pull a dumbass like I did and snap off your fuel injector, and you have to pay 200 and something, 230 or $40 for something like that, it was my fault. I was pushing on the clip. It was clicked on there. I was pushing on the back of it. Just remember to push on the front of it, and that will release the tension because it clicks on the back. I've already got the new injector in there. I've just got to put it back on. And one other thing I wanted to mention, you'll have to take, there's a little rubber O-ring that goes on the injector. The one that was on mine is red. I'm still trying to figure out how fuel squirts out of oh. Man, no, there's some tiny holes. Anyway, mine was red. It doesn't come with those, or at least I didn't see any in the pack. It doesn't come with those O-rings, and there's only one that I could find. I bet you the one that's on the bottom is probably still down in the injector holder, which would be down in that hole right there. So once I get all this hooked back up, bike put back together, I couldn't find any videos of anybody. Everybody's like, hook your FI2000 up, everything's gonna run fine, you'll be a badass, it sounds great, and it fixed my whole life, and my marriage is better, and all my bills went down, and da-da-da. But nobody actually shows how to do it. So you got to take the seats off, tank off, move the breather housing out of the way, which obviously that would connect right there. And the other things, the speedometer, this has got the quick disconnect fuel tank. It's just got two tabs you push in and it clicks back on. All this is pretty simple. I did take pictures while I was disconnecting all this stuff, but it was my fault. And once I get all this put back together, I will make another video and edit these together. And yes, I'm from Alabama, so if I sound like a dumbass redneck, that's just how I talk. I can't help it. But and feel free to make fun of my accent. That's fine, as long as the bike runs fine and this thing works like it's supposed to. I probably should have just left it alone, unless you do something to your intake, like put a K&N air filter in. And some have even done that and said it didn't matter. But I just did it because everybody's doing it, I guess. I don't know. I probably should have left it alone. But I will make another video and edit these two together before I post it on Bama Boy Smith, is where I've got several videos on there, some with 10 to 20,000 likes and views, and it's just a thing that I could not find any information on. All you can find is hook up the FI2000, click, and then it goes from showing a picture of it to cranking it up. And the standard setup for these, it comes pre-programmed for your specific model. This is a 09 C50T. It will come pre-programmed for that. Mine would be, you pull this little pad off right here, and it'll be 3.5, 5, 3.5 is the way. And I think that's standard for all of them. Now, I think the green is your idle fuel. I'm not sure. I haven't read all of it. I was mainly just looking at the pictures, but I did make sure that it was set on that. So again, once I get all this mess set up, we'll make another program or another video, and I'll tie them in together and tell you how it worked and if it helped any after I wrote it. So maybe this will help. Just be careful of these freaking Phillips heads like these. Use the one that came with the bike in the toolkit, or I don't even know what the difference is between the Asian version and the standard version that we get, but there is one. You'll strip them every time, especially on the carburetors. I had a Yamaha V-Star 650, and those little brass 5 mil bolts that hold the carburetor bowls on, stripped every one of them out. I mean, it was all because I didn't know there was a difference, and there is. So anyway, I hope this helps. If you guys have any questions, it's pretty straightforward, and it should be a plug and play. But and another thing I'll tell you, when you start taking seats and tanks and all that off, put the bolts back in the holes that they came out of. That way you don't have 15 bolts and you don't have any idea where they go. That way at least you'll know that everything is back where it should be, and all you've got to do is just remove it and put it back in. Even my back seat I did it with. And this, I've got a backrest. So she'll look a lot better when I get her all put back together. But just be careful of these clips, because I snapped that thing off, and it wasn't nothing. Just pop. $230 or $40. I can't remember the exact number, but it was 100% my fault. I can't blame it on the part. And I would recommend getting the OE. I found one online for $40, but when it comes to fuel injector or engine parts in particular, I do not like to go Chinese made. Not to insult the Chinese population, even though you did give us the damn Rona on purpose. But if it was a brake lever or clutch lever or something that wasn't that important, which those are important, but when it's an internal or external fuel part or engine part, I'm going OEM. I mean, that's what I believe a person should do. I've had really bad luck using used parts for engine parts. But alright, Bama Boy Smith out. I will make another video when I get all this rigamajazz put back together. And I'll let you know if it runs any different. I've got a video on BamaBoy.Smith, or Bama Boy Smith on YouTube, that shows how it runs or idles when I just put the new Cobra drag pipes on there. And maybe we can tell if we can hear a difference. Another thing I would do when you're doing any work on your bike is go to Harbor Freight and get one of these Pittsburgh lifts. It'll lift your bike up level. It's easy to check the oil level. I don't know how many of us has tried to hold it and look through that little looking glass, and your bike want to fall over with you and all that bull crap. So get a Pittsburgh lift. I think I paid $70-$80 for it. The handle's somewhere over there. I'm not exactly sure where the handle's at, but it's worth its weight in gold. I've had it sitting on it for a week now, and finally got time to mess with this injector. So alright guys, I will get back with you when I get all this put back together, the new injector in, make sure nothing's leaking gas, fuel for you English folks, petrol, and maybe it'll go okay. Talk to you later. Bama Boy Smith out. Okay, so I finally got the new fuel injector installed. What you want to do is I tightened the tank down a little, but not really. What you can do is when you're, it's got the quick disconnect. All these are not scratches. This is just messes on here. My bike's nasty. None of this is connected yet. But I wanted to make sure that it was running right, and that the Cobra FI2000 was acting correctly. Judging by the directions, when you turn it on, you should see all three lights. And they are set for 3.5, 5, and 3.5, which is what the directions called for. So I'll connect all this into one video soon. So I got the tank, I got the connector put back in, the fuel injector rather. Some of the side panels put back on. It's gonna have to have a good foam spray and cleaning, but I'm meticulous with my bike. This is driving me nuts having it a mess like this. But so what you do is you can take a screwdriver, and once you get your tank set on there, you just prop it up. You just prop your tank up with a screwdriver or a wrench or something. Then you can hook it up. And my mistake was I left it, 3/4 full, so it made it a lot heavier. When you do this, you can pour the gas out or run it almost out before you do the work, and it make it a lot lighter. But anyway, let's turn the switch on, and we're gonna crank him up and see what happens. Alright, there's all three of our lights, and then they should go off. Start it up after I pull the clutch in. Hold on. Sorry, I gotta lay the phone down real quick. Then they all go off while it's idling. When you give a little fuel, the green light should come back on. You rev it a little more, the yellow light, and then the red light, because that's different rev ranges. That was the yellow light. Got a little bit of a red light. Sounds to me like it's running fine. Oh, the green light's on. Couldn't see it a while ago. When it's idling, your green light will be on. And then that's different rev ranges where it kicks in. Alright, so I think I'm ready to put everything back together and give her a good washing. And then we'll be good to go. I'll put a K&N air filter on it. A set of Cobra drag pipes. And that's all. Here's all my stuff I got to put back on it. Tank bra. Seats. But once we get it all put back together, I was having a little bit of a miss while it was idling before this, but I feel like this fixed that, and I don't have any engine noise at all. I don't know if that has anything to do. A lot of people have a lot of engine noise. I don't even hear the valves anymore. Maybe a little. Yeah, they're starting to tick now. Once she warms up, that's normal though. You don't want to have quiet valves. Loud valves are happy valves on these bikes. I think it sounds awesome. And no backfire. And normally when I done that, I would have a pop or two during a downshift. I think that's going to stop. Any questions? Just ask me what I did to hook the the FI2000 up to the Boulevard. I'll be happy to answer them. Where's my fob at? There we go. And I love this fob too. I can give you a link to the guy that made it. It's a really neat thing. Just like a key fob you'd have for your car. And you obviously, I Gorilla glued the key in it, but he makes the fobs. Which me being a machinist and CNC machinist, I've made things similar to this, but I can't do it at work. I mean, I wish I had the equipment here. Then you just use that little set screw, and that tightens up your key. And it doesn't have all this weight banging around and scratching all your crap up. Y'all look over my dirtiness. I'm going to clean all this while the tank's loose and off. All this is going to get a good spray down and wipe. I've got the FI2000. I've got him velcroed on there, and it comes with that. And I did, anywhere that there was any kind of wire showing, or where one wire went into another, I did put electrical tape on it, even all the way up, even where it comes with zip ties. But I went ahead and I zip tied it, and I put electrical tape on it. Just like places like this, I don't like this. I know it probably doesn't matter. I wouldn't think it would come from the factory like that. It's probably from jarring from the road. But before I put everything back together, I'm going to put black electrical tape around that. I just don't like it showing. Even these places, even though the bike's not that old, 5,000 miles on her, and I bought it with 3, I think. I'm gonna electrical tape all that. I don't like it. I think it looks like a crappy job, and when my OCD kicks in, even though the Zoloft helps, it doesn't fix it. So anyway, there she is in all of her glory. We got the new pipes on. Got the new K&N air filter. Excuse me. I rode it for a month or two with just the pipes. And if you don't, let me say this one more time. I know I've said it 15 or 20 times, probably. If you don't mess with the intake, if you don't change the air filter, or put one of those Cobra Jet deals on it, or Super Jets, or whatever they're called, where it's just got the 2 open, looks like carburetor plates opening on the side, you don't have to add the FI fuel processor. But if you do anything, and well, let me take that back. Some people say that by adding pipes from factory that are a lot less baffled and whatnot, that it leans out your motorcycle, because these come leaned already. Well, I rode it for a few months, and I had no bluing. Again, y'all look over my bike. I've been working on it. I've had no bluing of pipes, which is a strong indicator of your bike's running lean. It creates a lot more heat running lean. But anyway, any questions, let me know. I'll put everything back together and maybe add a 2 or 3 minute clip to this. But other than that, I think we're done. I'm happy with it, brothers. I am. I can't wait to crank it up and ride her. I think it's gonna be awesome. All right. Well, this old white boy's going in for the night. I'm just gonna make a video and post it of fuel injector replacement and the FI2000 connection, because I couldn't find anything online. I mean, it would show like the FI2000's awesome and it comes pre-programmed and you don't have to do anything but ride it, and it'll stop all your D-cell pops and lower engine noise and all these things. You get 5 more horsepower and 10 more miles per gallon. But nobody ever had any parts off the thing or showed where to put them. That's why I done this. I'll edit the video and try to put it all into one. Once I get everything cleaned up, I've still got several parts to put back together. But if y'all are wondering, these bikes right here are back in the heyday, the Honda VFR 750Fs, which come factory with 108 horsepower. They were the shiz nizzle back in the day. First bike with a single-sided swing arm, which looks really awesome. And they have gear-driven cams instead of chain-driven. They have a sound that is unique. Just Google Honda VFR 750F gear-driven cam sound, and it is just unreal, the sound that they have. So this is the one that I ride. That was supposed to be bought as a parts bike, but when I looked at it, the only thing that was wrong with it was the carburetors. It's got 10,000 miles on it, and that's all, and it's been just sitting. So anyway, I'm getting stocked up with bikes that'll probably set more than they're ridden. But once I get all this mess put back together and cleaned up, I'll make another video, tie all this together. If you have any questions on fuel injectors or how to hook this baby up at the FI2000, this is not the one that has the app that you can change all that. It's just you take a flathead and turn it. But that sounded fine to me, so I'm going to leave it as is and ride it, see what happens. All right, Bama Boy Smith out. Y'all have a blessed week.